Greetings Internet, it's Alex and Louis from Barefaced.
Hello.
And we've got 3 cabs here today. We have 3 120 watt guitar cabs, and they're all exactly the same size apart from their height and their width and their depth actually.
Yeah.
We shall ignore this big one for the moment.
Yeah, I'll stand here.
So this one's got 2 G10 vintages in.
Yep.
This one's got 2 vintage 30s in.
Yep.
The G10 vintage is meant to be a 10-inch version of a vintage 30.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's called a G10 vintage.
Well, there's the 1030 that they do that I think is also...
No.
Is that a different thing?
No, that's nothing like it.
Because that's what confuses me, because it's V30, 1030. I'm like, what is that meant to be?
Yeah, well, the 1030 is a 30 watt speaker.
Is it?
Whilst the V30 is a 30 centimetre speaker. That's my best guess. Because it's not a 30 watt speaker.
No, 60 watt speaker, and the G10 vintage is 60 watts
60
as well.
watt.
So same power. Both.
Same power handling, 15 watt ignited tweaker on the top.
Reverend.
Greg Cock signature, Gristle ST.
Yeah.
It's wicked. It's got Fishman active pickups, but they sound like passive pickups, but without hum.
It's amazing.
And there's a boost circuit, which is sort of a mid-range boost.
Yeah.
A
la Clapton.
And it's got a cool thing where you can blend in the 2 pickups and obviously, you know, use 5 switch. It's chambered under here.
Is it?
Yeah, for more resonance.
I'm going to stick to the neck pickup on 10 because that's how
Excellent.
That's how I play a Strat.
And then we've got some pedals down here.
Yeah, we've got Davies board today. We're going through the Black Hole Symmetry from Collision Devices just for a bit of reverb. That's a mad pedal. I'm not using any of the crazy stuff. Walrus Audio Monumental Tremolo, which is great. The JHS Penguin. Davey will put what it's actually called here. The
Purple, it's got a penguin on it.
It's amazing. Jam Dalai Lama Delay. And then the Barefaced Machinist for fuzz and drive.
And a pitchfork.
Yeah, I might use that.
So this one's called the Mutiny. It's a vertical 210, obviously. This is the Uprising.
Yeah, it's the baby version of that.
Vertical 212. Right? They've all got this in the back. This is the AVD. This is a 10-inch one with a massive EVM speaker in. But yes, slot, diffractor, mids and highs come out, go around the room. Low frequencies resonate like a ported speaker. Basically, you get the front and the back of the speaker together, sort of in harmony, with much better dispersion. So it's what sets every barefaced guitar cab apart from every other one on the planet, and makes them work better, as all our customers will attest.
It's true.
And anyone who's happened to hear one, borrow one, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's, I don't know how many of them are out there now.
Guitar-wise,
yeah,
we're on about 5,500 cabs full stop, so it must be over. Yeah, there must be over 1,000.
Yeah, there must be some thousands, but they're sort of spread very widely around the world to people with excellent taste.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's start in the mutiny, shall we?
Yes. That was really interesting. Hopefully Davey's managed to track the switching. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much use would apply with, but there's only 2 cabs.
Yeah.
What I really heard was the definition
Yeah. Oh god.
of the Mutiny
100%.
versus the Uprising.
Yeah.
So it's the 2 10s.
Yeah.
I just think they're quicker and clearer. Like when you were on that last bit where you've got the octave down,
Yeah.
you could hear very clearly this is the guitar tone and this is the octave down tone
Sure. Okay.
happening as separate things, but in unison.
Yeah.
Well, an octave apart.
Yeah.
And then when we went to the Uprising, it was much more like a...
Yeah. Okay.
Like, that was fatter. That was
It's
slightly
fatter.
duller on the top.
It is. Yeah.
More detailed.
They are. It's such a.
I prefer this.
Do you?
Yeah, I prefer that sound, but maybe that's me hearing it as what I want to hear in a band with me.
You want the guitarist out of the way, so you can have 7
Well,
pedals on the
it's
bass.
because the tone's less big, I think.
It is.
The Mutiny, but it's not less big because it doesn't go as low.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just not got as much of a sort of low mid-range warmthy
I just want to
thing.
take the drive side of the Machinist, because it's a bit brighter than I would have my drive, so I'm just going to sort that out. I'm going to take that down as well.
Right, so
Is this what
no,
we're
I
doing now?
just switch. Which do you want it on?
Doesn't really matter to me. Okay, that's a little bit more where I would.
We're going through a large diaphragm condenser room mic, which is about 5 foot from the cabs, so
Yeah.
sort of slightly off axis from both. So it's kind of fair representation of what you hear in the room.
Yes, yeah.
There's no point close micing cabs in a demo video if you actually want to have an idea what the cabs sound like. That just tells you what the cabs will sound like on a record rather than in the room, in which case mostly you just hear in the speaker, so then you're not hearing the cab. And
Yeah.
you know, in a room you hear the combination of the cab and the speaker, and particularly with our cabs, the clever stuff is what the cab is doing that sets the tone apart from other guitar cabs. Right.
So, I think that's more where I would be. That's the Mutiny, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I much prefer the Uprising with that sound. Miles.
Yeah, I'm just. I think
just sounded like a proper blues sort of sound, like I expect it to sound like.
I think I'm used to setting it for this because there's kind of more similar to how I'd play, and than I was doing earlier, and this is what I use all the time.
Yeah.
But
That felt too toppy.
a little
the wrong
bit,
way.
a little
Yeah.
bit. This
Bit
is
too much pick attack, not enough fullness.
guitarists always say that they don't like 10s across the board. Guitarists seem to prefer 12s. You can see by how many are fullness compared to
absolutely.
upsetters, and everyone thinks they sound boxy and small, and I don't think that's the case.
No.
That wasn't the case there. It wasn't the case at the start. It's not boxier. It's not smaller. If anything,
I
it's
think
more
it's drier and more defined,
more
and
defined
tighter.
for sure.
I think it's less woolly. I think
Yeah.
I think there is a particularly if you're used to 412s, there's quite a big low mid bump.
Yeah.
When you get 4 10 12-inch speakers and put them in quite a small box comparatively for the number of speakers that are in it, and don't brace the box very well, so the box resonates a lot, which is what your typical Marshall or something is like. It's quite a wobbly, woolly thing,
Yes.
which does go vroom, but it is also the thing that makes live sound quite problematic.
Totally.
And,
yeah.
and I swear is part of the reason that it's quite hard to hear the bass on quite a lot of albums going back that many decades to when the 412 was everywhere. Because that's just, and they're miking them in the studio, they're cranking them up in the studio, and there's just a lot of
of wool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bit, which just totally gets in the way of the basses and doesn't make guitars sound good.
No, not really. Let's try just some power chords through the two with a bit of fuzz, and then maybe we'll see where this sits, shall we? So this is just the fuzz side of the machines. That's so different now. That's the most different they've sounded, I think.
I love that. That felt so heavy on the 210, on the Mutiny.
Do you think?
Yeah. It sounded so tight and deep and precise. It felt like Tool.
Interesting. You didn't.
And then as soon as you went to the Uprising, I was like, that sounds like rock. What's this one sounded like metal? Not your cliched metal sounds, but just that world of post-grunge heavy sounds that definitely aren't classic rock.
Sure.
Grunge, probably grunge.
It's got way more body to it in that setting, didn't it? It had way more like weight and. Did you not think?
It had more boom,
it also
but
had
it
more...
didn't. This was so chunky.
Go back to that.
Yeah. There's loads of mids with the Uprising, but with the Mutiny,
there's not as much definition anymore. That had way more definition across the board than this all along. And then on this setting, do you not think that's getting?
I think it starts and stops quicker. I think it's got this real
for the rhythm stuff.
Yeah, which got that tightness of because that's one of the things I think that sets apart. If ignoring like doomy and Sabbath type stuff, I think one of the things that sets apart rock and metal rhythm guitar playing is how tight the worlds of metal and that weirder, darker edge of rock, which might be a grunge, post-grunge and stuff like that.
Yeah,
just not classic rock.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like how AC/DC, they're strumming these open power chord type
for
things.
Something like that.
Yeah,
that would work.
And this is Guns N' Roses, and obviously going back to the classic references because we all know them. It's not because we're really old. He's not. I might be. But
I'm just gonna really quickly before we go to the upsizing, I want to tune the amp so it
tune the guitar or the amp.
Well, I am tuning the guitar as well. I want to set the amp. I want to dial it in so I can get a bit more of this sound out of this, and then see what happens when we go to this.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So much body, doesn't it? I can't get rid of it. That's incredible. It's on super bright. Well done, blimey.
was really interesting because I thought the. Do that again, just without change anything. Yeah. So the Uprising, I think,
Yeah. I'm gonna put this back
has
a little.
more colour and character and kind of vibe and prettiness to its sound, and a lot of
The
it's about the
Uprising.
mid-range, the Uprising.
Right.
Whilst when you go onto the Mutiny with the 210s,
Yeah.
you've got this dry, tight nastiness, but it's nasty in the best possible way. It's like, it just sounds so much more metal and so much more aggro.
I was gonna use that word. I was waiting for that because you use that word all the time. Do you not think that sounds aggro? That's really thrashy and like it's a bit uncontrolled, and you're like, what? You got to tame it a bit. At least that's how it feels. Because that top end, I really want to know what's coming across on this mic, but this has got that aggy top end, the hot upper mids.
It's got the added upper mids, but
Yeah.
so the Uprising's got more upper mid range. It's got more mid range full stop.
Yes.
What's the Mutiny with the 210s
Mhm.
doesn't have that
The
upper
mid-bump.
mid range.
The mid-cut thing.
Up around there, but it's
Yeah.
got this searing top end above that, but it's not like, it's like an airy, fuzzy.
I think I might have just lost that bit in my hearing. I might just not be hearing it.
I think,
Should we see how this adds into them?
yeah. Do you know what? I do think if you've got two guitarists in a band,
One of each?
I do think there's a lot to be said for someone playing 12s and someone playing 10s.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm not
Everything
someone
different.
who, if you've come across me in bass world before, there's me arguing online like 20 years ago, telling the internet that they're wrong because speakers don't have a sound. But the interesting thing is, if you just narrow it down to the family of guitar speakers, because they are all much of a muchness, guitar 12s do have a generic sound. It varies a lot between them.
It does vary
Guitar
a lot.
10s have a generic sound, and you can get 10 versions of other 12-inch versions of 10s and vice versa. But there does seem to be this consistent theme of dryness and tightness and definition
Yeah.
and detail with the 10s
From a 10.
versus colour and warmth and fatness, and often a bit more bite with the 12s. More bite, less
There
air.
is. But,
And we're consistently seeing that. But you can obviously vary things, but it does mean that I think
Oh,
if you
for
do
sure.
have two guitars in a band, one playing 10s, one playing
they're
12s,
different palettes, aren't they?
and I do think they affect the timing, because I think the 10s react very instantly. They start and stop faster, and I think the 12s take the edge off the attack, vice versa.
So bite, when we say bite, it's upper mids really, isn't it? That's what we're feeling as bite.
I mean, I noticed this when fiddling around with bass guitar EQ and looking at where you put the frequency curve and the treble EQ, and there's some active basses where they put the active bass shelf up at, say, 6 kilohertz plus,
Right.
and that gives you kind of air and sheen. If you want it to bite when you pop, you
Yeah.
need it down at like 4
At
kilohertz,
4.
3 kilohertz, that sort of realm.
So that's classic.
And if you want to be able to mellow it out completely, you need to cut low down as well. You need to be swooping down to like 1 kilohertz, sort of with the bass guitar, to actually get these sort of mellow, flat woundy sort of style sounds.
Okay, let's start there.
So Louis using our machinist,
Yeah.
which is coming back from the dead. It didn't die because it wasn't amazing. It died because it cost too much to make.
Yeah.
And we realised we weren't actually making any money and possibly losing money on each one. So it has been redesigned. Same on the outside.
Yep.
We're just checking it sounds the same on the inside. So we've basically moved from through-hole components, with us soldering them one by one, to surface mount. So the PCB is designed, turns up, surface mounted using marvellous machines that do the job very fast, very reliably. And we put the through-hole components on and finish it, which is how the majority of pedals nowadays are made, especially the more complicated ones, because it's just, there's so many contacts to solder, unless you've set up a float bath and stuff. And but then
It's a different world.
you've still got to pick and place them. At which point you might as well use a machine that picks and places and
Yeah.
mounts them. Yeah.
But yeah, it's sounding great. I'm just going to put the clean parallel on for this one.
Yeah, so it's fuzz, drive with parallel clean. As Davey's going to be putting labels on, he may get very, very confused with this because these sound super similar because they're two of the same 12s in each.
Of course, yeah. Single AVD, double AVD.
Yeah, so that's got one AVD, so this is producing mid and high extra output from the rear of the top 12, but not from the bottom one. It's producing extra lows from both.
Yeah.
Whilst this has two AVDs, so you're getting the mid and highs from the back of both, as well as the extra lows from both. What I'm hearing, it's pretty subtle, is that the upsizing, so the big one, is a bit tighter and leaner in the lows, doesn't have as much of a sort of low mid upper bass bump.
Right.
And I think is generally less mid-rangey. So I think partly it's the bigger box, so it's lower tuned, so you get less of that bump. So it'll go deeper if you then ask it to go deeper.
Yeah.
And it's got less mid-range coming from the AVD output, so there's less mid-range generally into the room.
Shall we ask it to go lower?
Yes. Right, to stop us getting confused, should we just stick on those two for now?
Great. Yeah. Exactly what you just said, really, I think.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Uprising, if anything, sounds louder in the room.
It does.
The Upsizing sounds
the AVD, I guess?
tighter. Yeah, extra AVD giving us more output in the room. So
yeah.
I moved the mic partway through that, so the mic's basically in between being on axis for both. So it's kind of halfway. Yeah, so if you hear a change in sound, that's because we've put the mic in a more representative position for the two of them.
That was tighter down, quicker down low, especially with all that on when I was doing that's while at the end I was doing that. Just to see how and that was like, oh, okay,
it's good for heavy music, that.
I mean, that was the point, right?
That was the point.
Yeah. Another successful cab.
Yeah.
I think.
Well done.
Great.
We can fit a 15 in the bottom of that, or two 15s in it. So this one,
yeah, I can do.
Which is our demo one, has an adapter plate in there. So at the moment it's got a 12 in there, but if you take the 12 out and the adapter plate out, it takes 15. So you can have a 12 plus 15 if you want to get really chuggly, thundery, doomy, whatever.
That's a video, isn't it? 15 in there versus, because then you'll hear more difference. Like you said,
Yes.
they're similar because of the drivers. So if this had a 15 in it, then we could do a AB on those.
Let's get one of those 15s if we don't have one and put one in and do it.
Got one fullback, I believe.
Probably the wrong impedance because that's how it works with impedances.
Yeah,
Whatever
it's true.
impedance you want, it's the one we don't have.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool. Well, hopefully that's been useful.
Yeah,
We'll do more of this. That guitar's sounding good.
I enjoy this. Look how small it looks. But like,
Yeah, if you've got one of
in a
these
good way.
lunchbox type heads.
Yeah, which I do. I've got the keys and kettle on that, but that's just perfect for a little gig.
Yeah.
It's walkable that as well because it's short, whereas that just is not quite.
No, but it's got wheels.
It does have wheels.
Wheels, wheels, no wheels. Right. That's that.
That is
Goodbye. We'll see you next time.
you
Thank you
later.
very much.